If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm so thrilled that you are joining us tonight. We have another hot show for you, another rockin' guest. We are going to break out the fun and the laughter and the magic. Oh, my God, we are going to have a rockin' time. So tonight we are talking about resistance, the waiting room for magic. And I have a wonderful guest, none other than Sillito, and she is going to be joining me quite shortly, and we're going to jump right into the topic. If this is your first time joining me, I am so glad you're here. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach, and I love to work with individuals and organizations to create greater in their life, wherever it is that they are desiring more. Whether you have a limitation, a block, or you just want to create greater and greater and greater. I love working with people in those areas. I am a bars facilitator, an access consciousness certified facilitator, an energy healer, a radio show host producer, and I am the lucky lady who is the owner of the Inspired Choices Network. How does it get any better than that? I love creating, and I love creating with others. If that is something that you desire to have somebody in your corner to create with, give me a call. I love to work with individuals who desire to have more in their life so that they can be contributing greater in the world as well. I have a number of different programs. One that I really want to tell you about tonight is called the Pleasure of Business a la carte. So this is a business program that is designed specifically for what you need. And it's like stepping up to the business buffet table. You get to choose whichever classes work for you. It's 24 weeks that we are going to be going into all different subjects. And you can choose all 24 weeks, you can choose a month, or you can choose 1 week here or there. Whatever works for you, whatever you require and your business desires. So please do connect with me. You can do that at inspiredchoices.ca, and you'll see the Pleasure of Business page there, or you can connect with me on Facebook at the Pleasure of Business. We are getting started quite shortly, but you can jump in at any time, and you'll be receiving the audios, the videos, and all of the tools to create your business with absolute pleasure. So I also do the Access Consciousness Bars classes and foundation classes that I love. I just had one this past weekend, and it knocked my socks off. So imagine what it was like for the individuals that took the class. It's one of the most dynamic classes that can change everything in your life and really have you go, wow, now I'm ready to really step forward. So connect with me if you would like to know more, or you can find me at accessconsciousness.com/Christine McIver. So, on to our show. Resistance, the waiting room for magic. What if resistance isn't what you've thought it was? What if resistance is simply saying, not yet? What might change if you quit resisting your resistance and tapped into the magic of what actually is generating? Sillito is my guest, and Megan is an adventurer, an explorer, a surfer, and a life coach. Her uncanny capacity to dream big and her playful approach couple masterfully to support the creatives of the world. Megan helps hack through the overgrown can'ts and paves a path for individuals to embody their genius capacities, launch epic projects, and transform their lives and businesses. She has been coaching and facilitating individuals and groups for over 20 years. Now, that's her quote-unquote bio. I'm going to tell you what I believe Megan is. Megan is a rock star. This woman is so present with you when she's with you. She looks into your eyes and nothing can distract her from you. She has got your back, and she's going to do it with so much laughter and play that you won't even feel the truck coming to hit you. You'll just be like, okay, shit, what was that? That actually felt good. Megan is a very wonderful friend of mine. I'm so blessed to have you in my life, Megan. Welcome to the show.
Wow! That's one of the best introductions I've ever gotten in my whole life. Thank you so much. I'm sitting on my chair. I can't hardly sit still, and I'm like, oh, really? And this energy's all bubbling up. So thank you so much, Christy.
You're so welcome.
You're really awesome to see me through your eyes. That was fantastic.
That is so cool. Oh, my God. I just love it. And I'm so thrilled that we connected. Oh, my God. So Megan and I were in Vancouver at an Access Consciousness class. When was that, Megan? Was that 2014? Or 2015?
2015. February of 2015. Mm-hmm.
February 2015. And she's she was sitting a row behind me, and she taps me on the shoulder. I think this is the way it went. At least this is the way my memory remembers. She taps me on the shoulder, and she goes, "Are you the radio lady?" I guess I am.
Are you the radio lady?
And I'm like, who's this crazy woman? And you and your wonderful Suzanne have been on the network with your Love, Life, and All Things Weird radio show. We just love your show, and we've been dancing together on the radio for some time now, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, that was February of 2015, and our show launched June of 2015. So we've been 2 years now.
2 years. Mm-hmm. Wow, that has gone fast.
Right?
Holy moly.
Because we're having so much fun, and we like each other. That's why
ingredients fast. 2 ingredients that help. Oh, my God. This is awesome. So, Megan, I was on a call with you about, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, and you were doing a call all about magic. And, of course, I love your radio shows. I listen to you guys all the time on the radio. But there was something that drew me into this call, and it was different. It was very different. There was a very different way of being present and looking at magic, and you flipped my world in that call. I think it was a 90-minute call. You flipped my world, and I'm like, I want more of this. I'm having more of this. And I'm just back, 2 weeks maybe from the Dallas class. Mm-hmm. So we were in Dallas, Texas, where Megan did the Live Your Magic class, and I'm still unwinding from that class. Not in a bad way, but girl, you pack a punch.
Yeah, I kind of do. I was actually on my morning show today, kind of what showed up for me to say about it was that because the feedback I've gotten from it is a lot like what you're saying is people's whole realities change. They're just different. And there's people that are going on tour. They want to go to all of them, and I'm like, okay, what? For me, I feel like it is I've been a coach for 22 years, and I feel like I've been, everything I've ever done and been has led me to this event, to creating this event. And for a lot of reasons that I don't, and reasons known and unknown, but I feel like one of the things is that it's a culmination of every piece of transformation I've ever created or taken myself through. And then I'm the space of that for everybody coming in. So it's you get the benefit of 22 years of the most dynamic, intense change work on the planet. And then I call in the consciousness of magic to contribute, to be part of it, so that there's all these things occur that are so outside the realm of people's linear idea of what could happen or what could change in a 2.5-day event. And it's really cool because magic is so fun and it likes to surprise us, and it pops in at the most surprising times and just changes our whole world. So, I feel like having the co-facilitator called Magic, the consciousness of magic, and then actually seeing the magic rise in every participant and actually utilizing that, it has a cumulative exponential effect that it's it surprised me with how potent it is. It's wow, this is really good. I think I'm going to take this on the road.
Hang on a second. This is good. This is good stuff here.
By golly.
You know what? Something you just said was I didn't really cognitively realize it during the time of the class, but you bring in. I mean, like so many people, Megan, you have a lot of different modalities that you've enjoyed and that you've tasted and you've played with. And what's really cool is you've brought this all together to be a banquet with all of it. And what I think is so cool is it doesn't matter. It's not necessary that you have one modality or the other. You and I are both Access Conscious Certified Facilitators, but you don't have to be in. You don't even have to know about Access to receive from your class. And I really love that. I love the combination of all of that and how what you're presenting speaks to all of us. I think there's a thread of desire with a lot of people, and let's just call it New Agers, right? Like that are the seekers that are in these modalities of change and possibility. There's a thread that runs through all of them, and I think, girlfriend, I think you're the one that's bringing it together.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I call myself a modality whore, right? Like I've been because
not a modality whore.
Because as you said, like I was a seeker, and some of the first sort of modalities that I got exposed to, in particular rapid eye therapy, changed my life. Like it's a little bit like Dane's story of he was going to choose out, and and this like changed my life. But then as I got into it, there was this place where it felt like I had filled the space with what I could, and then I was like, what else? There has to be something else beyond this, beyond just healing my trauma, right? And then I kind of opened up into the Hendricks work, which is body-centered, working with genius, working with relationships, that I kind of started changing into sort of healing, from healing to life coaching, and then I kind of blended those two together, and I kept going as far as I could until it was like, wait, but what about this? And this doesn't address this, so I'd look for something that addressed that, you know? And that's just been the process. And as I went along, there were certain things that sort of became obsolete, and other things that the thread stayed with. And I just began to trust that those things they were just part of everything I would be and continue to be. And they all kind of come up at interesting times and live your magic. I don't plan it, but there's certain times where this like, oh wow, I learned that 12 years ago in a little class, you know, like, and it pops in, and it's kind of what I'm saying is I just follow the energy of what's required, what actually is required to create the most change, what will create the most change in this moment, and to be able to have all of those, that palette of different colors to choose from is really amazing. Because the other thing is that people don't process the same way. Like for some people, they're so like energy based, and so like the energy tools are so dynamic. When somebody's more body based, if you don't get them sort of involved in sort of a full body experience, they don't learn in the same way. And so I like to play with the different ways that different people learn and access who they are, you know? So that is my da-di-da about that. It's so fun, too. It's so fun. I don't think I could do just one thing. Like, no. You know, like it's just so fun to blend and to feel how, when I'm in front of a person, what energies come forward to be addressed, and how do we address them? And to me, that's my canvas. And when you talk about me being present with people, that's my art. And I'm just like, yeah, let's do this.
That's so friggin' amazing. We are already up to our first break of the show.
Oh my goodness.
We have. It's all good, girl. It's all good. You got to be chatty on the radio. So when we get back, we are going to jump into this topic. Pardon me, I can talk. We're going to jump into the topic about resistance and how it is the waiting room for magic. And I'm so looking forward to seeing where we go with this, because there's a lot of resistance in the world, and there's a lot of resistance that goes on with us when we start to look at our quote-unquote stuff. So everyone, stick around. You are listening to the Inspired Choices radio show with myself, Christine McIver, and my wonderful guest, none other than Megan Sillito. And we will be right back to Resistance, the Waiting Room for Magic. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Live your magic. Megan Sillito. How long have you been waiting to uncloak your magic? To allow the magic within you to rise and catalyze into an extraordinary life deep down you know is possible. Live Your Magic is a 2.5-day experience that will move you beyond your mind, ignite your body, and activate the magic that is you. If you are ready to radically tap into your desires, generate more aliveness in your body and your life, then join us at a Live Your Magic event somewhere in the world. Go to megansillito.com and click on events to learn more today. That's MEGANSILLITO.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around. We just are enjoying the new commercial for the Live Your Magic with Megan Sillito. And what's so funny to me is it was such a boppy, I loved the music, Megan, that you chose. And it's such a, like, you were dancing during it. I was like sitting here dancing in my chair. And then along comes mine. You are listening to... There's something about that guy that makes me think like of Star Trek or something. And although it's weird, I don't want to change it.
Well, I think that it speaks to the eclecticness of it. I really do. I think it matches the energy.
Okay, we'll go with that. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right. So tonight we are talking with Megan, and please do go over to Megan's website, megansillito.com. It's MEGANSILLITO.com. We will definitely have it in the replay. The link is there that you can find out where Megan is in the world, and it's kind of like Finding Waldo. Megan's all over, and you can check out all the amazingness that she does create in the world, especially if you're into learning more about this woman's magic. So, Megan, let's talk about resistance. So this whole topic came up during
I don't want to. I don't want to talk about resistance.
Says a 3-year-old with her hands on her hips.
Right?
Yeah. So the waiting room for magic, that pops for me so big time when we were in the class. So talk about resistance. Talk about what it creates and what it doesn't create, please.
Cool. Well, and I feel like this isn't written anywhere. This is just 22 years of like teaching groups and doing coaching and healing work with people, is that one of the biggest things that I learned really early on is people ain't ready till they're ready to change, to move. Like, it just, like, you can, like, I worked my butt off with certain clients. Like, I wanted to change more than they did. I'd, like, pull them along. I was, like, pulling teeth. And I have to tell you, that was exhausting. It was just completely exhausting. And what I realized is that when I tried to take people further than where they were actually choosing to go, that I actually slowed down the process even more. But if I would just go, oh, cool, you don't want to change that, awesome. You know, it's like, cool, like, you, like, have to go blow up some more shit first. Go do it. And they'd look at me. The biggest weird on the planet. It's like, yeah, you need to go fight with your husband for a few more years. Go do it, you know, like, whatever it was. And they would just look at me like I was crazy. But what I found was if the people that took me up on it would actually move through the energy and, like, pop through to something else and be ready. Like, if I just let them go with it. And it's like, cool, I get that you love not having money. Cool. You know, like, instead of resisting that they don't have money, right, and then resisting whatever process to actually change that, you just kind of go in and go with it and just almost in a way exaggerate it, right?
Right.
So that it can, like, they can pop through to the other side. Because if you think about the energy of resistance, now add more resistance to that. If you resist your resistance, you're going to create yourself into a bunghole, you know? Like, you're just going to, like...
Yeah, I'm kind of getting twisted in my brain right now. I'm trying to do this. I'm like, oh, this is painful.
Yes, yes. And that's the piece of resistance that I think isn't as useful when you resist resistance, because you just really stick yourself when you do that, instead of going, I don't want to change this right now. Isn't that awesome that I know that? You know? And I remember this one session that I had with this girl, and she was like, my clue was she'd been to like 4 other facilitators, and they hadn't helped her. And I'm like, uh-oh, red flag, you know? And so she was like, anyway, she was doing this dance with her boyfriend or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm like, you don't want to change this. And she's like, what? What do you mean? And we had, like, she almost like got up and fumed out, and kind of did, you know? And I got a text from her a week later, and she goes, you're right, I was not ready. And she said, and like when I really got that and I let myself not be ready, within a day I was able to see where I could choose something different. And like she goes, she said, in the session, she was like, I just paid $150 to get the information that I'm just not willing. And I'm like, yep. And I'm like, that is a steal, because you just spent $5,000 pretending you were. Right? For all the other facilitators she had been through over the last 2 years, pretending she was willing to change something that she wasn't. You know? So it's kind of one of the legs of this is the truth shall set you free. Like, just getting real with, like, it's a no. And then, like, understanding that you're in a process. You're an organic being. It's like nature, right? It's like there's not going to be snow on the ground anytime soon in Utah in June, because it's not where the process is. And so if we're trying to force something that isn't organically ready to occur, we just inflict pain.
Okay, say that again. Because, like, my brain is like, whoa, wait a minute, where'd she go?
Okay, and we're back. So hopefully I can find those words again. Here, I'm going to throw in a metaphor and then add it. Like, if you try to take a baby out of the womb 3 months early, what's that going to do? Right?
It's going to kill
like, baby. Yeah, exactly. Because it may not look pretty to us, right? And may that baby in the mom's womb might feel like she might be giving her gas and might be kicking and all this stuff, but like there's a process happening, and that process is not complete. And so for me, one of the things that I have realized over the years is that the resistance can oftentimes indicate my process is not yet complete. I am not in a place to, I'm not close enough to the new creation point to choose it.
Right.
And I may need to gestate.
Right. I would say you're not fully baked. Like it's just, it's not fully baked yet.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's friggin' awesome. I love that. Because so many of us, especially when we look at other people, whether you're, you do this for a living, whether you're a professional coach or not, when we see people choosing things that we believe they could maybe contribute great to their lives if they chose something else, which is definitely a point of view, but we try to push them forward. We try to push them forward before they're ready. And, I remember, Megan, oh my God, I'm going back 20 years now. When I was with my ex-husband, right? He's now an ex-husband. I wasn't with him when he was my ex. But when I was with my husband, I was in an abusive relationship. And everybody wanted me to leave. And everybody kept saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I would leave, and then I would come back. And then I would leave, and then I would come back. And this went on several times. And people got angry and frustrated. Some people stopped speaking to me. People stopped, caring, all of that. And there was one person, thankfully, in my life that was like, whatever you need to choose. I don't have a point of view about it. And it was that person that when I was able to take the step for permanently take the step to leave, that she was there, and she's like, okay. And she didn't make a big deal out of it. But that's what this is that's what I'm looking at when you're saying this. It's like when you try to push somebody, they just can't fully go there yet.
Mhm. Yeah, and why and how unkind would it be to try to push a baby out of the womb before it was done cooking? Right? And that's kind of how I, it's kind of how I feel with all of us is like, if we're still doing something, we're not done cooking, and I get that there's a lot in my life. I think maybe there were choice points that I could have taken maybe sooner or earlier. But as I look at my life and as I look at how all of that contributes every single day, like I have this thing I call the lost decade. And I partied you said I was a rock star at the beginning. I partied like a rock star. In fact, I call it my lost decade. And in fact, I was kind of dangerous. There was a lot of times that I probably should have died or whatever. And my own family were taking bets whether I was going to live till I was 30 or not. And there's been these moments in my life where I've gone, wow, if I just had gotten consciousness earlier, then I wouldn't have had to do all that, and I could be so much further ahead and all this stuff. But there's something that people, when people come into my office or whatever, they trust me right away because they know I've been through stuff. And they know, there's been so many, teenagers, probably 18 to 23, 24-year-olds who I've been able to shorten that curve for them. They were going down a similar path, and as they trusted me instantly and were able to make a different choice because I wasn't some therapist, with my little notepad being separate from them. I was with them, and they got that. And I believe that there's been more than one life saved because of those 10 years. But looking from the outside, it looked like I was being dangerous. It looked like I was being suicidal. It looked like all of that. And maybe some of those threads were there. It was dangerous. There was a few times that I was like, I want off this freaking planet. But it all served who I became.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally get that, Megan. I watched you in class, and there was very different individuals in there in that class, and you were able to connect with every single solitary person on a level that, you don't see often. You have that ease with connecting, and some people say, oh, you have life's experiences, but you get in there. You get into all of your life's experiences. You get dirty with it. You get it all up over you. And I love that. And so with all of that, with all of these life experiences, how this is what we're going to talk about when we come back after break. How did that then turn to start being magic? How did that start to infuse? And let's talk more about live your magic, because it's time in the world for us to have way more friggin' magic. So, okay, we're going to go to break, and we come back. Megan, that's where we're going to go. So everybody stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. The next segment, this is going way too fast. Okay, you're listening to Inspired Choices Radio on Inspired Choices Network. And when we get back, we'll be speaking with the wonderful Megan Sillito about resistance, the waiting room for magic. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Live your magic. Megan Sillito. How long have you been waiting to uncloak your magic? To allow the magic within you to rise and catalyze into an extraordinary life deep down you know is possible. Live Your Magic is a 2.5-day experience that will move you beyond your mind, ignite your body, and activate the magic that is you. If you are ready to radically tap into your desires, generate more aliveness in your body and your life, then join us at a Live Your Magic event somewhere in the world. Go to megansillito.com and click on events to learn more today. That's MEGANSILLITO.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. We're back with Megan. Let's jump right in, Megan. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's do it. Let's talk about magic, baby. So how did everything come to in your life? How did it all come together and bring you in to live your magic? And what does live your magic really, really look like?
That's some big questions right there. For me, I remember being a little kid and just having this sense of the wonder and the energy and the consciousness of things, and somewhere in me, I would see a fantasy show or something, and for the next day I would be inside of it, right? And a lot of us have these kinds of experiences as kids, and then we get it entrained out of us. We get it programmed out of us that that's not real or whatever it is. And I feel with all of the work I did, to heal and to transform and to get out of my limitations and constructs, with every layer I peeled back, there was this energy that rose, this knowing or things like showing up in my life as if by magic, right? And I thought that was pretty crazy that I would go in and I would change some kind of internal construct, and all of a sudden something would show up in my world that I had no reference point for. And so I would say that the magic has been building, for a long time. And it's interesting because my a gal that I'm coaching with right now, who I had on my show last week, Catherine McIntosh, said, "You finally made magic your storefront," because it's what I've always been selling.
I love that.
It's what I've always been selling. People come in and they go, "Oh, well, I want a better relationship. I want this." And their whole freaking life changes. It's not what they were expecting, and so what I've been doing, and I hadn't recognized that actually. And it's interesting because being the humanoid that I am, I never taught the same thing twice. I was always like on to the next thing to teach. But this magic thing has got me by the kahunas. And like, I can't stop talking about it. I can't stop playing with it because I feel like that's always what I've been selling. Always.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that inspired me to start like really like going deeper into it is I saw people talk about magic a lot. And it was this conversation, if you look on the internet, it's happening everywhere. It's happening a lot. But they're talking about it. They're not embodying it. They're not living it. Not in the way that I'm talking about, which is that knowing that I can change anything, that I can transform anything, that I can create anything, that I can walk down the street and change the molecular structure of something, you know, that's happening around me, that I'm contributing to everything that's happening on the planet. And one of the things that I saw in particular for people who were healers and coaches and all of that, and even like musicians and artists to some degree, it's like they would let themselves be magic in their art. They would let themselves be magic with their hands-on healing. But as soon as that client walked out the door, they went back to their crappy life called, I can't do money, I can't do relationship, I can't do whatever. And it's like, but wait a minute. But if you just healed that body, why aren't you using that energy to heal your life, to actually have the life that you really want? Use that energy everywhere. And so that's really what inspired. I'm like, and to me, like, you know, that there's so many amazing, and you probably know, Christine, a lot of really amazing healers who like struggle to pay their rent, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, how much more powerful would they be if they never had to worry about money, ever? Mm-hmm. How much more could they contribute? How much more could they be that when their client left their session, they didn't fly back into survival land or limitation land? And so that was actually what inspired me to create Live Your Magic, as I got so over it. It's like, you guys are so powerful. What are you doing? So that's kind of how the short version of how it's all come together.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. It's pretty crazy, and how that is something that's been up in my awareness for a number of years too. It's like, wait a second. If we have all of these different capacities, why are we suddenly cut off at the knees when it comes to money? Or it comes to, you know, our awareness with relationships, whatever it is, but that's fabulous. So, Megan, with this now, what is it to really embody and live your magic? What does that look like that's different from what you're seeing people talk about?
One of the things that I sense when people talk about magic is that it's outside of them. And it's like, oh yeah, magic in the universe. And I can call the magic of the universe in. And it's like, okay, cool, yes, there is. But you are the universe. And every cell of your body is that potency and that magic and that alchemical reaction. Like, to me, even just looking at the body is magic, right? How many systems have to run simultaneously in order for you to just stand up and go to the bathroom? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like, to me that's magic, right? But it's like when I am like, when I know that I am the magic, and that magic isn't just an idea, it's actually a consciousness. It's a consciousness that I can be part of, that I can tap into, that runs through my whole body and being, that I have access to at any given time. And it is a choice to engage it. And sometimes, like, I don't know, like, I felt like magic for a lot of years was kind of this happy accident. Like, oh my gosh, that was so magic. But then we have learned to expect that it comes in these little tiny pockets. And then we have learned that we probably shouldn't expect that again for another couple weeks or years. right? And so we've come to it like it's almost like we're unwilling to be that odd all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, go. I can feel
it.
Ask me more.
No, it's just like, this like our unwillingness. So why is it, why isn't a great question, but why is it that we are resisting what it is that we say that we desire? Like, what's between the, yes, I desire this, my God, it'd be amazing to have magic, and you do, on some level you know it, and then you resist it. Like, what? It feels like it's like an inch. It's like that lip before, right before a baby's born. It's just, you know what? You just need to push just past this little lip. You just got this little lip to get past. So what is the lip in this resistance to magic? Is it this reality? Is it that people just don't think that it's possible? Or is it judgments?
Yes. Yes, it's all of those things, and like and I want to speak to some of those things because they're relevant. But there's something I am feeling to do with you. Are you up for it?
Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
Suzanne!
Help me, Suzanne.
Woo! I'm up for it.
Cool. So can you, because you described that so amazingly, and I could feel that energy in you as you were describing it. And if you weren't going to call this resistance wrong in any way, shape, or form, what is this energy telling you about magic?
Ooh, I don't have words. As soon as you started talking, my body started to get very excited. So the word that just popped in was a lie.
Cool. So everywhere that you've bought the lie that you're resistant to magic, or that you can't live in magic, or that...
That's it. You hit it.
Which one?
That you're resistant to magic. It's I'm not resisting magic. It's like there's Teflon on magic and I can't get to it. It's like there is a resistance to me being able to get to it.
Yeah.
It's like
cool.
It's like the energy of I'm trying to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. So everything that is, can we uncreate and destroy it?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And if you are magic, is there anywhere to get?
No.
Cool. And everywhere that you've bought and sold a lie, that is something you have to get to, can we uncreate and destroy that?
Yes.
Oh, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, boys, shorts, men, and anything everywhere you've been implanted and explanted to not be, know, perceive, and receive your magic for all eternity. Can we please revoke or can't rescind, renounce, destroy, and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong. Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyond.
Yeah. Oh, I love what Faith said in the chat room. She says it's like a polarity kind of resistance, like a pushing away from which molecule needs to be flipped. I love that. It's this like push-pull at the same time. I desire, but I'm pushing away. Oh, my God. Something has definitely shifted, Megan.
Yeah. Yeah, so what if that push-pull was just the dance of the molecules, and there was nothing wrong with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been judging what it is.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah.
Very cool.
So everywhere you've judged yourself as being resistant to and not having access to magic and being in the push-pull and getting really tripped up. You're having a bad trip, right? You're in this trip called I'm resisting, and I took a bad hit of acid here. You know, it's like, look at me, I'm horrible, I'm resisting, and look at me push-pulling, and what if that was just a dance of the molecules? Right, wrong, good, bad, calling, short symbionts, right? Because I think about, like, for me, like, one of those pieces, I used to be so, this is probably funny to you, but I used to be really terrified before I would go in front of a group or in front of an audience. And one of the biggest group I've been in front of to this point, it was a church audience, and I had replaced the reverend, funnily enough, me. They asked me to do that. And there were like 400 people. And I was so terrified, Christine, that my mouth stuck shut. And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, crap. And I was just like, I knew this was going to be the time that I was just going to stand up and not say anything. And then I had this experience. I started actually walking up and down the aisles and kind of preaching. It was kind of funny. But like and I almost swore. I did the almost swear thing again there. And the regular Reverend heard about it. I got a little feedback. But within 10 minutes, my energy was popping off the back walls. And everybody, all those 400 people were like eating out of the palms of my hand. They were so excited, and they were so waiting to hear what I was going to say next. And I realized that what I had been calling fear and wrong, and like I kept going to like, healers in different modalities to try to heal this fear of public speaking that I had. And I realized that it was actually just the rocket fuel. Like when a rocket's going to take off, it does this. But because I had called it fear, I was closing it down. And then it was making it so that energy couldn't come through my being and my body. So when I really got it, that was actually not fear. It was my engine turning up, to turn up my magic, to turn up my energy, to turn up my capacities with, being able to transform and engage an audience. Then I stopped having the experience of being afraid. There's still a similar energy that happens in my body. I just don't call it fear anymore.
Awesome. How awesome is that? Mm-hmm. Wow. I can see you as this young girl walking down throughout this church and be like, Who is this? Where did she come from? Do you ever feel like you're from another planet when you are talking to people about magic, Megan?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I really get that. Like it is so not even on the radar or in any kind of reality for most people on this planet. Yes, absolutely. Like that's cute. I get that's cute a lot.
It's like they're patting you on the head energetically.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, but it's interesting because in the last series, like maybe a year and a half, there has been this growing energy around magic and this more of a respect and an engagement with in a way more authentic way. I think Harry Potter kind of brought it in, and it's like our response to that, I think, tells you how many people either believe in magic, want to believe in magic, and are like craving it like crazy. But it still was in the realm of fantasy. But I feel like it started to seep into our world, into our reality, and we're starting to wake up to the magic of our bodies and our being and the earth and trees and the magic of money and like like what about if you could step out of the mess of money into the magic of money? And there's a piece that I do in Live Your Magic that helps people kind of start opening that door. And so it's like everything is magic because you're magic, but you just haven't been willing to engage the molecules in that way because you're so busy calling yourself wrong. It's kind of like this little push-pull dance with your molecules going on. It's like, if you didn't call it wrong, could that be your engine turning up? Could that be that magic engine turning up if you didn't call that wrong?
Oh, wow. That is so phenomenal. I see it. I see you standing in a mess, and then suddenly with a snap of a finger, you're standing there like a magician in this beautiful, beautiful garb. And it's just like, yeah, you don't need to stand in your mess. You can be magic.
That is great copy, Christine. I'm going to have to steal that.
Well, it is yours. I just saw you in it.
Epic.
Okay, so Megan, you are coming to Toronto. Woo! I cannot wait. We are going to have a Live Your Magic here in Toronto. So, I mean, people can come from all over the world for sure to join us, and why wouldn't they? You do have an entourage that's following you up here, right?
Yes, I do. There's people are like, I'm going to everyone. I'm like, okay, come on down. Bring your magic.
Bring your magic. We're going to have to get magic T-shirts. Everybody will have the same magic T-shirts. Yeah, I can get that taken care of. I'm writing it down right now. Yes. So when people come to the class, tell us what is it a 3-day class, a 2.5-day class?
Yes, the second one. We start on a Friday night, and we just start getting warmed up, and we start opening all the doors and gateways, and then we have 2 full days, Saturday and Sunday, where we open to and play in the magic and call it forward and turn it on and turn it up in every which way that you can imagine.
Cool. And so are people going to be... are they going to be doing anything during the class? I mean, are you just talking? Like, how? Give people a sense of what's going to be created in those classes.
Oh, cool. Thank you for saying that. This is not your mama's Sunday school class. So you snorted. Yes, I got a snort. That makes me so happy. This is not your mama's Sunday school class. No, it is not. It's full out play for 2.5 days, right? And one of the things that I really invite people to do is start getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. So there's a lot of, I've designed some experiential activities. I actually sometimes create them on the spot based on the energy. And there's a couple of activities that I have that are my signature activities. One is called the Magic Carpet Ride, where I do this signature process called molecular infusion. If people are listening, they're familiar with Access. It's my version of SOP, but I do it with music and sometimes with live music, depending on where I am and if I can access live musicians. And there's a process where I take people just on a journey into their magic. And so there's we're going to be doing, you'll be getting up, moving around, sometimes listening, sometimes processing, and sometimes you're going to get to be the facilitator. Because as I look to see where the magic is rising, I let that facilitate the group because magic is speaking through each person. Magic's speaking through all of us all the time. It's just that we just haven't honed our awareness that that's what's rising through us. And when you begin to be able to identify that, you can turn it on, you can turn it up, and you have access to living it rather than it being a happy accident.
No more happy accidents, people. Let's play on purpose. Live your magic. Oh my gosh. We are at the end of the show, Megan. Wow, that was happen? I just got whiplash from this radio show. It went so fast.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Oh, I adore you.
So
I can't wait to play with you again. And you guys, you've got to check this class out wherever it is in the world. Please, please, please. You will be happy you did. No more resistance. Let's play. Take care, everyone. See you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.